In this video, I'm going to show you how you can connect your hosting a domain to Firebase. So if you've deployed your website or your app on Firebase already, I'm going to show you very quickly and easily how you can connect your hosting a domain. So bear with me, follow along, and we'll get everything set up for you. So on Firebase, you need to go to your project or app or website. So I'm going to click on tutorial. Then once you're in this back end here, go to build, then go to hosting. And now what we can do is we can go ahead and add a custom domain. So by default, you will see the default Firebase domains. As you can see, mine is just a very simple travel website that I deployed. And under those domains, you will see add custom domain. If you go ahead and click on that, it's going to ask you for your domain. This is where you can go to Hostinger. And on Hostinger, you need to click on domains. And you'll then be able to find your domain you want to connect. I'm going to connect this one here, learningforaliving.com. So we'll go ahead and copy this. Then paste it into add a custom domain. Make sure we get rid of any dead space here. And don't check redirect to an existing website. So just enter in the domain without www first. Just enter in the root domain, then click continue. What it's going to do is it's going to ask you to add some records and also delete a record as well. So we need to add an A record, a TXT record, and we need to remove an A record. This is all very simple. Don't worry, we don't need any technical skills to do this. So let me show you. So if we look here, we need to add a record. The first record being an A record, the value being this IP address here. So if we go ahead and copy this value, we can then go into the back end of Hostinger, find the domain. You then want to go to manage, and here you'll be in the back end of your domain. You can then go to DNS/name servers on the left. And what we can do from here is we can go ahead and add the records that it wants us to add. So you might want to reset your DNS records on that domain. If you connected it to something else before, you don't want anything to mess it up. So do that, and it should then reset in about 15 seconds. So now we'll look back at Firebase. We want to add here an A record to the domain name, the root domain name, to this value. So copy the value, go to manage DNS records. So we want to keep it on A record. For the name, you want to keep it at, which will send it to the root domain, and then paste in this value. So again, we've got A record at to this value, A record at, and then to this value. And then you want to click add record. Now, it might say that you've got a conflicting A record already, and the conflicting A record is 84.32 in my case. And this happens to be the A record that Firebase wants us to remove. So it says remove the record below to verify that you own your domain. The record that it wants us to remove is an A record 8432. And you can see this is the conflicting record here. So we'll go ahead and remove this one first. So just following the instructions, we'll scroll down, we'll find this A record, which it wants us to remove here, and we'll just simply click delete. So now we've deleted and removed this A record. We should now be able to add the A record here, following these values that we've already entered. So we can click add record, and you can see it's now being added successfully. Now we'll move on to the next part, which is going to be the TXT record. So again, remember TXT, and then copy this value here. So we'll go type, we'll change it to TXT, and we'll paste in this value here, keeping the name here as at, then click add record. Okay, so now we've successfully added the A record, the TXT record, and we've removed this A record here that it wants us to remove. Now all we need to do is click verify and wait for it to propagate. This can take up to 24 hours. In my experience, it takes between 20 minutes to an hour, but as long as you've added these two records, you should be good, and you should be able to click verify, and it should work in due time. This isn't the only thing you need to do though, so just be patient, but I'll be back once this is updated and everything's propagated. Okay, so now everything has been propagated. I've clicked verify, and now as you can see, it's connecting. Now, if you don't get connected straight away, and you get another error message, then you can just refresh and just hover over it, and it will tell you how long you need to wait. But once you've added those DNS records and it's verified that you've added those, the TXT record and the A record, it will then say connected. Now, if you go ahead and click on it, it should then connect to your website. Now, you may notice that this is only your root domain. If you type in www.yourdomain.com, it will not work, because now we need to go ahead and add your domain again, but with www. So go to domain and type in www.yourdomain.com. Now, because I've made this video a couple of times, it doesn't actually let me add my domain. It gives me an error. So if I just type in the domain wrong, obviously you wouldn't do this. This is what you will see. And it will then tell you need to add a CNAME record to your domain. Once you've entered in your domain with www, you then need to add a CNAME record and delete any existing CNAME records that may be pointing anywhere else. So you go and copy this value, and we need to do the exact same thing again, but this time you need to go type CNAME, you need to change the name from @ to www, and then you need to paste in the target. Then click add record and add this CNAME. If you have any existing CNAMEs, you need to go ahead and remove them. And once you've done that, you can then again click verify. Now again, I was making this video before I removed all of the entries, but for some reason it's still recognizing it as connected, so it's giving me an error when I try and add it. But follow along and add the root domain like I just showed you. Once that's connected, add the domain again, but this time add it with www.yourdomain.com. And then it will tell you to add a CNAME record, which again we've just added. You're then going to have to wait for that to propagate, and once it propagates and it's connected, you then should have yourdomain.com connected and www.yourdomain.com connected as well. So that's all we have to do. We just have to add some DNS records. If you're struggling or if you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and thank you for watching.